Maybe somebody on Team Cavuto knows. How'd we do this week? Have a great weekend. See you on the Fox Report tonight.
The president putting the charm offensive to win back big business in full throttle today. But is it too late? Welcome, everyone. I'm Stuart Varney in for Neil Cavuto. This is your world. The president talking up the private sector today like never before. But the head of the nation's largest business group is saying that ship has sailed. Chamber of Commerce Chief Tom Donohue preparing to fire off a letter to the White House and Congress demanding immediate action to address the new regulatory stranglehold placed on America's job creators. All this as the president's chief of staff is quoted as saying, rather than recoiling against the president, business leaders should be grateful for his support. Democratic strategist Chris Hahn agrees with that. Chris, welcome to the program. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, do you think that the president really does like business,
Absolutely.
capitalism, profit, private enterprise, or is he, as I suspect, more of a government guy?
Listen, all we could do is look at the facts. The stock market is up substantially since the first quarter of 2009 when he took office. We just saw the end of the last show where they said the stocks are up this week. We've had a pretty good week. Things are going well. All of our viewers have to do is look at their 401k statement from the first quarter of 2009 and look at it now, and they see that this president has done a lot for business and a lot for the American people.
It is very helpful to be selective in the time frame for your statistics. However, let me just roll a little tape of President Obama and then tell me whether he really does like business.
Oil companies showered regulators with gifts and favors.
Right now, the system works very well for the insurance companies, but it doesn't work so well for the American people.
I did not run for office to be helping out a bunch of fat cat bankers on Wall Street.
A bunch of fat cat bankers on Wall Street. Now, hey, wait a second, Chris. Before you respond to that, let's talk about Rahm Emanuel. He says that business should be grateful to the president because the president has opened up markets despite union opposition. I think he's married to the unions, actually, that he's rescued General Motors, and I think he nationalized General Motors, didn't he?
Well,
and then on financial reform, he says that he has introduced uncertainty. He's reduced the uncertainty.
Well, there's nothing the market hates more than uncertainty. And what we've had prior to this president taking action in this financial reform bill is a lot of uncertainty, which caused weaker markets. The certainty has made the market stronger and has made the economy start to recover.
Well, he has given the financial system the certainty of much bigger taxes, the certainty of a new level of bureaucracy, and the certainty of a great many lawsuits still to come. That is removing uncertainty indeed.
Well, there is less certainty on the taxes side than you think. But I will tell you this, there are more regulations that are needed. Listen, when this president took over, we had tried it the way where we let the market decide which way things were going to happen and just not regulate anything in business. Now we know we need to regulate more. Listen,
if the president is so much on the side of private enterprise, why is Tom Donohue at the Chamber of Commerce launching this broadside against the president and his attitude towards private enterprise?
Well, you can't please everybody all the time. Obviously, Tom Donohue and some other people have made some remarks that I think are unfortunate, and I think that they're going to take back when they see how this economy continues to recover in the next two years of this presidency.
You don't sound real certain about the president's commitment to capitalism and profit and the vigorous private sector.
I am 100% certain that this president is committed to capitalism and making this capitalist economy work well for the American people.
But
we're going to put people back to work.
His agent of change has been the government. And he's demonized private enterprise.
Some regulation was absolutely needed. Some demonization of business had to happen because they were doing bad things.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, look what BP did down in the Gulf. They put profits over security, and look what happened. And look at what happened in the banking industry when they took your money and used it any way they wanted and put it in unsafe investments. Now we need to have some regulation. When people get fat, they have to stop eating. And when businesses run amok, somebody's got to step in and say, hey, these have to be the rules right now for you to live by. I stopped eating cookies a year and a half ago, and I lost a lot of weight.
It was those bankers' fault. It had nothing to do with the politicians or the regulators, and nothing to do with them. It was all private enterprise.
Well, it had a lot to do with the politicians under the Bush administration that wanted to let them do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted to do it.
Look, it took you 3 minutes and 52 seconds to bring up George Bush. I'm surprised,
I knew I had at least 4 minutes, so I had some time to wait.
I'm shocked. Chris, it was a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us.
Nice to see you. see you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, now the Senate is back in session next week. Nearly $34 billion worth of jobless benefits